Welcome folks to the IPRA New South Wales eSeries for round number 7 tonight, live from Sandown, a replay broadcast from last week. Let's get straight down to the action. This is how they will grid up for 3 races tonight. The first race, Dave Coleman will start on pole position. Alongside him, Scott McCune will start on the front row with Garbutt and Thomas on that second row. Dibatito and Reali will start on the third row tonight with Ravenol and Newens in 7th and 8th. 6th area down in 9th place with Vincent, your top 10. Then we go to the Group B cars, the TCR cars. Starling will start alongside Gordon off the 6th row of the grid. 7th row of the grid will be Harris and Thomas with a drag. Anderson down there out of position, Hogan and Cox at the back of the grid. Let's go straight down to the racetrack, pick up the drivers as they get set to get underway here from Sandown Raceway. The drivers just completing their lineup now. Let's get rid of the music, get ready for a start. So they've got 2 categories as always tonight. The V8 supercars at the front, the TCR cars at the back. A bit of a lap difference in speed and time around this place, of course. So welcome aboard tonight. If you're out there watching, hello, and how about the Swannies today? What a devastating game of footy that was for all those Sydney Swan fans licking their wounds tonight. Pretty good game of footy on at the moment too, between the Rabbitohs and Penrith. I'm not really a football lover, but I was enjoying a rare Saturday night doing nothing and enjoying half of that game. So I've left the dog on the couch. He can watch the rest of it. I'm here to do the IPRA round number 7 of Sandown as we get to the end of this, well, towards the end of this series. A few rounds still to go. Long hold in the grid. We should hear the green, or we should see the green light shortly as the revs rise here at Sandown. Your front row, V8 supercars, should be able to get away pretty quickly. Second row, good start there. Dylan Thomas goes straight to the lead. Got it all hooked up very well. So he's got the perfect start tonight. Look at that, straight up into the lead of this race. Can he get it stopped? He does. In the background, I think they've all got through as well. Looking at the TCR cars getting tangled up. There is a V8 supercar in there as well. Slow to get away, but look at Dylan Thomas on fire at the front. We've got a bit of smoke in the background. We've got a V8 supercar's gone around. Dibatito, I think it was, into the fence. He's gone to the back of the field, so he's been turned around whilst trying to get through the TCR cars, unfortunately. Hello, Spike. The only person watching tonight. Hello, mate. How you going? Dylan Thomas leads this one down into through the S's, and now as we head back towards what is a very quick lap here at Sandown, around a minute and a little bit, minute and 8 seconds I think. Qualifying times are pretty even, but at the moment it's already stretching out at the front. Reali and McCune staying pretty close in P3, P4, and Coleman, who had a shocker off the start. He dropped back to 5th after sitting on the pole on the front row. Now finds himself back fighting to just stay into the top end here. back. Reale and McCune go wheel to wheel. Down the inside, Scott McCune. Can he get it stopped? Looks like he won't. No, he can. Good job. So he's late on the brakes there. He got the move done. And he's just recovering from what was a little bit of a slow start as well for this, the HSR car, one of the HSR cars. So it's Fishy Motorsports out in front. Dylan Thomas leading at the moment by 1.3 seconds here on lap 2 of 15. So 15 laps and then a 10-lap race, followed by the feature race tonight, which I think from memory is around a 40-lap race or a 35-lap race. So I'll be with you for a couple of hours tonight. So hello, welcome aboard. If you've got anything you want to talk about, jump in the comments. Let's have a look at the TCR cars at the moment. Brad Harrison and Ryan Gorton leading that class back in 10th outright. Smallish field, only 18. In fact, if you take Josh out, I think he's in race control, and also Gibatito, who's now pulled the pin on the race after getting turned around at the start. We've only got 16 competitors still running. Harris has just gone way deep in there. He's lost a spot to Starling and Gorton, who goes now to the lead TCR class. Dylan Thomas down in front. Garbutt's starting to just close the gap a little bit, and Scott McCune distance under pressure from Dave Coleman, who has now got the foot moving in the right direction on that accelerator and getting himself back up towards, or closer to where he started the race anyway. So welcome Scott tonight, welcome Barry as well. Don't tell the boss, but I'm watching this for a while. Work can wait, says Barry. Nice to have you watching, mate. Let's watch Dylan Thomas for a bit out in front though. He's 0.6 of a second now, the gap between them. Lap 3 of 15. Enjoying this new Fishy Motorsports livery as well. Get a nice close-up of it there. Looks pretty specced up, but it looks good. Oh, he's gone deep and he's thrown that lead away now after what was a remarkable start. He's just gone to put that in the fence, and he's still dancing around there trying to get himself out of trouble. I think Tyrone Anderson's going to come around the corner and see him just rejoining in front. He is. So he brings a bit of dirt back onto the racetrack. Tyrone's going to go for the overtake here. Opportunistic move. Can't get it done. So pretty good for Dylan Thomas to hang on to at least that position, but that drops him from the lead of the race back to 7th. Now Dave Garbutt leads the race from Scott McCune, Dave Coleman, Murray Reale, and then Shane Newens, the top 5 back to the Group B or the TCR class tonight. Ryan Gorton currently sitting in 10th place. So we'll just keep an eye on his progress tonight. Eddie, thanks for the stars. Hello Eddie, how you going, man? A couple of the regulars tuning in. Nice to see you. So looking at the lap times, it's a 108.5 fastest lap of the race, Dave Garbutt. Fastest lap for the TCR car is 117.4, so about 9-second difference over the lap here. Being that it is a Saturday night, I'm just about to crack a beer here. Let me just crack this open quickly whilst talking. So 3.5 seconds gap at the front. That's pretty mega at this stage. I wonder if Scott will be able to reel him in at all. I'm just watching the lap times and the lap differences. It's now 108.27, the quickest lap from Dave Coleman in 3rd. But whether or not he can impact these guys, or the guy out in front, Dave Garbutt, the gap's 3.4 with only 10 to go. It's a shortish race, this first one. And right now, Dave Coleman really giving Scotty the hurry up. Oh, he almost puts it into the fence as he gets on the throttle. Coming onto the back straightaway. Nice bit of a moment for him. Go underneath our little drone camera here and have a look at the 77 car with the number 640 in pursuit. It's a good looking racetrack, this one. It's good to have it into the iRacing service. It has been generally fantastic racing here. Everything I've ever broadcast here has been fantastic. Just watching the times back in the 2-litre class as well. The top 3 in class, Gorton, Starling and Harris, all within about 1.4 seconds at the moment, so they're hanging in there, having a good little battle of their own. We'll jump on board here with Ryan Gorton looking back. He dances his way down the hill through the S's once again, tips it in. So Starling needs to try and start applying some pressure here to the race leader, or the class leader I should say, Gorton, because that gap's just on the second. try and close it up a bit and then get a little bit of the toe. Might help him out a little bit. If you're enjoying what you see, smash that like button on Facebook. Helps us get some, I think it helps promote that we are live to some of our 5,500 people that have forgotten about us here at RACESTARS TV as McCune and Coleman almost get together under brakes there. But yeah, smash that like button and grab yourself a beer. Join in on the chat tonight. If you want to tell me some jokes, by all means, tell us some jokes. Barry's cracking a beer as well whilst on the job. Nice work, mate. McCune and Coleman, here we go. Challenge for P2. Oh, wow, out of shape. Coleman came back onto the track, gave McCune quite a big hit then. And I wonder if that's done some damage to Scotty's car. Who only apparently got 10 laps practice before this one. There we go. Still doing pretty well. They're starting to lap the 2 litre cars as well. You can just see Hogan just up the road, about a second up the road. He's going to come into attack shortly. Dave Coleman, and there's McCune in tow. So the conditions here tonight for this one are a little bit overcast as well. As the 2 litre car got out of the way. Hogan was all out of shape as he tried to give up that position to the lapping cars with the blue flags waving, but he almost put himself in the fence. Big old tank slapper as race leader Dave Garbutt goes through on one of the lap cars as well. That was Samuel Thomas, who's just been overtaken there and put back a lap in the Audi A4, is it? No, it's the Hyundai. There it is. All running their custom liveries. A lot of these drivers, well, most of these drivers, I think, race real race cars. Of course, this is an eSeries that was put together to celebrate the Improved Production Racing Association for New South Wales doing an eSeries in 2022. So we've got about even numbers across the classes too, about 9 or 10 competitors in Group A, the 8 supercars tonight. What have we got? 2, 4, 7. So we've got 7 in the TCR class, so not bad for a spread. So lap 8 now of 15. Go back to Brad Harris, who's been overtaken by Dave Vincent, who really should be racing Brad Harris in that V8 Supercar. He needs to get a wriggle on here, but it's a good looking Ford Mustang. Just finding his way around the circuit. You'll see he'll accelerate onto the back straight now, and that little Hyundai will be left in his dust. Straight line speed of the V8 Supercar. Much better than the obviously the 2 litre cars, as we see now a challenge from Dave Worrell. Wodonga Carts and Parts entry, and he's down. Tyrone Anderson goes down the inside as well. So, Anderson's out of shape. Worrell thinks about a run down the inside, then thinks better of it. So this is the Wodonga Carts and Parts car now. In its own little battle a little bit further back in the action. This is P8. Dylan Thomas in front, who started well, jumped off that green light incredibly well, but then went backwards when hitting the fence. G'day Keith, nice to have you here tonight as well. Getting ready for another Roadster Rumble on Monday, no doubt. I think it's the last one of the season this Monday. So you'll have to keep me updated in the footy. Like I said, I was enjoying a beer, just watching a bit of footy tonight. It's pretty rare I get a Saturday off these days. I thought, well, one, I was nearly falling asleep on the couch, but it was a good game of footy. So you have to let me know who's winning throughout this broadcast tonight. You see a car off the track in the background. Andrew Teixeira is off. not a lot lost there. He started 9th position, he now runs in 9th, so I think just had a little bit of a moment by himself back there. Here comes your race leaders though, so they're not too far off the back of Andrew, who's in P9 outright, so these guys at the front really lapping quickly. Now we've got the top two separated by just 0.2 of a second. Garbutt under some pressure now from Coleman, who's going around the TCR car. Both of them get through past the TCR car of Starling there. And this is where Dave Coleman will start to apply the pressure, try and get into the lead of this race. Might try and just get on the advantage here too if the race leader is wrong-footed by any of these TCR cars. This should be pretty good. He should get a better exit out of here. The TCR car moves out of the way nicely, so Dave Coleman that was Gordon that got out of the way nicely. Garbutt just giving him a little bit of thanks across the radio channel as well, by the looks of that message coming across. So lap 11 of 15 before we then go straight into a 10 lapper. So that's the format for tonight. 15 laps and 10 laps, then a quick beer break, then we go back for the feature race tonight, the big one. Back with your race leader. Coleman leads McCune. Garbutt's dropped back to third now. And then it's Riali and Thomas, your top five. Dave Coleman now looking, in control as Andrew gets out of the way, lets the leaders go through. That's the car that was off the track. You can see the damage on the left-hand side of Dave Coleman's car. That's where he made contact with McCune earlier on in the race. Scotty is now up into P2 and the gap's only 1.2, so can Scott chase him down towards the end of this session? HSR cars running second, third, fourth. Very dominant performance once again, so 3 out of the top 4 HSR cars, and then 2 out of the top 5 are fishy. So from the top 5 drivers, we've got 2 teams dominating tonight. So lighting up the rear tyres, Dave Coleman is going to have 2 to go at the end of this one. Crosses the stripe now to make it lap 14. So 2 laps to go. Gap down to 6/10 now. Can he hang on? Garbutt staying in touch as well. We're on board with him. Looking at these drivers in front. So the top 3 covered by second, nice and close. Such a little technical part of the circuit through here, through the S's, and trying to get the perfect exit. No wheel spin onto the back straight. You rotate the car, and then you just give it full beans and hope that the back tyres have still got enough grip to hold on and project you down this long back straightaway. It rises up the hill over the crest, and then you've got to start to set the car up. Listen to the downshifts, and then just set the car up for the run down through these S's. The car gets a little bit unsettled as you ride the curves, and the tight left-hander once again. Look at the back end of Scott McCune. I was about to say getting no wheel spin is the way to go, but McCune proves me wrong there. Lights up those rear tyres. We'll get the white flag. 1 to go at the end of this lap, and it's looking like Dave Coleman at this stage is hanging on. We're on board with your race leader now as he gets the white flag. 1 to go. pretty comfortable down this back straightaway. You would think you have to make a meal of it now. He's got 0.4 of a second, the margin. You'd have to make a huge meal of it to throw this win away, but we see mistakes under pressure. You just never know when you're going to make that little error, or now the gap comes right down even more. We just see McCune on the back bumper, but he's going to hang on here. He's driven well, Dave Coleman. After a hiccup at the start, getting off the line, he'll take the checker flag in race number 1. And he gets the win ahead of Scott McCune, and Dave Garbutt gets third. Nice effort. That's your first race run and done. And a good win there. Like I said, Dave Coleman takes the top points in race number 1. We'll be back shortly with race number 2. Getting Heat 1 results up on the screen now. I've got to be careful that I don't bring up the wrong results there. So there is Heat 1 up on your screen. A pretty clear win there for Mr. Coleman. Nice job. Just getting race 2 set up for you now, so it won't be long till we get that underway. Right, here's the grid for race number 2, folks. This is how they will line up. Dave Coleman start from pole position with Scott McCune alongside, then Garbutt and Thomas off the second row. They'll be followed then by Dibatito and Riali, third row. Worrell and Newens, and it's Andrew T and David Vincent down off the row 5. Starling will lead Gordon away from row 6. I think this grid's right. Sometimes it does muck up with the fact we're doing this on a replay, but I think that is correct. Yes, so Starling ahead of Gordon, then it's Harris, Thomas, Drag and Anderson at the back of the grid. So let's head down and get set for another start here as we wait for all the drivers to line up. Now, is that full reverse grid? Is that what I'm seeing? It is full reverse grid, so it's actually going to give us everything will reset to the right order, I think, once they get away. So with a full reverse grid, that should put a couple of these TCR cars up the front, which it does. So there we go. A few cars out of position as well, one of them being the car that was turned around in the first race. Now, I'm just having a look where Dibatito is sitting. He's sitting right at the front. So it has put them in an interesting order here. So his bad luck in race 1 will help him in race 2 get a good starting position, and he should be able to fire away from all these 2 leader cars and keep them as a little bit of a buffer in the background as well. So reverse grid race. Thank you, Scott. Like I say, when we do these replays, unfortunately, sometimes it bugs out a little bit. We're just waiting for the final drivers to grid up now. A bit of a long hold again. Gets set to get underway, so final, just waiting on Josh to give us the signal to go, and I think then we'll be right. So there's your field of cars lined up. Like I said, smallish field tonight, but we're about to get underway. You hear the revs rise now. We're missing one car at the front there, but that's race control, so all good. Pole sitter sitting on the right hand side. That almost looked like a jump. Someone hasn't moved further back in the grid and almost got collected. They got away eventually, but I think it may have been Vincent, was it? There was someone stationary on the grid. Dibatito, as expected, leaps away and takes off into the distance. The V8 supercars now trying to scramble their way through the TCR cars. You've got to be patient. It's a 10-lap sprint race, so it's a short one. But there's all sorts of dicing going on there. There's some more contact between Starling and Riali. We've got a spinner in the background. Coleman tries to find his way through the TCR cars now. He's getting fully boxed in here. Now he gets a run, one wheel on the grass as well. This could be sketchy. But he goes half throttle as he works his way past a couple down the back straightaway. So, wow, they're not holding back at this start of the race. The man out in front by a country mile, 2.1 seconds, is Jason Dibatito. So what a perfect start for him. And like I said, that misfortune in race one lets him have a shot now at possibly winning race two. Tyrone Anderson running second with Dylan Thomas, who won a better performance after what was a great start in race one. What happened was, I think, self-inflicted, that little mistake which put him out of contention for a win. But right now he's on the podium. So with all the V8 supercars now filtering their way to the front, I think Jordan Cox will lead the 2 leader cars in the Audi, so he does. We've got Ryan Gorton and Starling right behind him. So everything now starting to look like a normal grid for us here, with everything filtered the right way we're expecting to see, especially with the lap speed of these V8 supercars. Like I said, about a 9-second advantage over the TCR cars around this Sandown circuit. Tyrone Anderson, P2 at the moment, holding on. Dylan Thomas definitely closer on this lap, and McCune as well. I think we'll probably see one of these guys set a new fastest lap. What's McCune do? Yeah, 108.7. So good job. And in the background, here goes Riali on Morel, trying to get past Dave now, which he should do. Should be able to slot down the inside into the braking zone. Nice job. So overtake done there. And Worrell fights it back though. On the long shot there, you can see thought about coming back at him, but Riali definitely now got the job done. New fastest lap for Dave Coleman in the background too, so he's starting to just lurk onto the back of this top 7. Big crash there, so looking over some telemetry data, these guys, he's not happy about that, I don't think, Dave Worrell. So I think he's apologising, but there was definitely some contact there. Oh, there's more contact as well. Newlands is now gone around into the fence. So the argy-bargy continues in race 2. It's only a 4-lap. He's going to have to do an Austin Powers 6-point turn there, but HSR out in front and leading this one well by half a second at this stage. So get up there and win this race, Dylan. He's looking good. Scott McCune, just watch his lap times. He just did a 108.9. So that was a little bit quicker than the man in front of him, but not as quick as the race leader. He's still doing I think a 108, low 108 before. In fact, no, it's a new fastest lap. Just flashed up on the screen there for, I think, Dave Coleman again. Continuing to put in the good laps here, but well off the lead. Looking back from Dibatito's car, the gap out to 8/10 again. So just when we think it's going to close up and we're going to get a fight between these top two, stretches out again. Jordan Cox still leading the 2 litre class in the Audi, ahead of then 4 Hyundais in a row. So Starling, Harris, Gorton and Thomas trailing Jordan Cox for that 2 litre class at this stage. It was Dave Vincent that stalled the car off the grid. That was a scary moment for him right at the start. And a few drivers, including Dave Worrell, did very well to sneak through there and not make contact. So we may have some guests shortly coming over to chat to us, and I'll let them take the floor, of course, as things just settle into a lap 6 now of 10 into this groove around Sandown. I'm hoping that the racing's close to the finale. There's Garbutt's in the fence now as well. Maybe stuck there, and that's an awkward thing when you do get stuck. iRacing doesn't let you detach from the fence, and look at that, he's stationary, so that could be a reset moment for the HSR car. Back to the pits, and now the race leader's just gone off the track as well, and Dylan Thomas goes into the lead. So there you go, we have had a change. McCune's closed the gap as well. The margin has been closed to P2, to P1. So it's all changing, those little mistakes. All of a sudden you're leading a race, and then all of a sudden you're not. And in a short sprint race like this, it doesn't give you a lot of time to recover. So the HSR car, you can see, still striking the fence in the background. Not going anywhere at this stage. Thomas McCune, I think he's just asking for the toe now, so. So, yep, doing well. Dylan Thomas now leads the race, and just grabbing, may have some company shortly. Dave Worrell. Asking for me to sub him in. I'm not sure what that means, because he's in this channel. In fact, he's the owner of this channel, so I'm not sure what's going on there. When he heads over to the green room, we'll drag him in for a chat. So this is with lap 8, a couple to go here. It's looking pretty good for Dylan Thomas, but he did make that mistake in race 1, which saw the other drivers capitalise. Now Scott McCune is right on his rear bar, and we've got a TCR car sort of in the way. Gets out of the way now. Dave Worrell's joining me now in the broadcast booth. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
I'm all right for a Saturday night. What's going on the series? Smallish field tonight, but some competitive racing as always.
Yeah, small field. There's not much, no biff and barge as you'd expect, but yeah, it's good and clean at the moment. It's pretty good.
It is round 7, so we're a fair way into the season now.
Fair way in. We've got 2 more rounds to go. The next is Phillip Island, which we're going to throw a big spanner in the works for everyone. And then after that, we head to Bathurst, and hopefully all the wildcards are going to come back as well.
Yeah, what's the spanner for Phillip Island? Can you disclose that?
So basically we're going to try something new. We're going to, first race we'll send basically we're going to send all the TCR cars off first. Give them probably about a 30-second head start. And then the supercars are going to take chase.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so it should be pretty good.
A little bit like this reverse grid race now as McCune sneaks through the lead and he's got through on Thomas. Thomas leaves a big set of 11s on the road and drops back over a second, so that should be it for Scott McCune. You would think he'll walk away with this race 2 victory. But yeah, that'll be exciting around Phillip Island. It's a good track for overtaking as well. There's enough room to do that sort of thing, chase down and overtake some cars.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of supercars can get some serious speed along the straight.
Yep.
And as you said, yeah, plenty of rooms to overtake under braking and all that sort of stuff. But as well, I think TCR cars will hold themselves in a bit of the tight and twisty stuff there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's about a 9-second difference in the lap times at this racetrack. It'll be interesting to see what it is at Phillip Island.
Yeah, we'll start doing our practice service during the week. We probably do pre-qualifying the Monday before because next weekend, Proof Production Australia is holding the Nationals up in Warwick, up in Queensland at Morgan Park. So a lot of the Ipra guys are a bit busy getting their cars finally prepped for that. So yeah, it should be really good.
Yeah, we'll talk about a bit of that in the next race, in the last race tonight, because we're almost finished this one. We're on the final lap. But yeah, we definitely want to discuss what's happening in the real world of racing, because I think a lot of the attention is solely focused on that now. People preparing their cars, and sometimes this fake racing, as a few of my mates call it, takes second best to the real thing.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, yeah, but yeah, it should be good. Should be really good.
We'll just call the end of this race now as McCune comes around. He's just going to, and I'll share my screen for you too. I just realised I hadn't shared that up so you can see where I'm at. But
Flying blind, mate.
Flying blind, yeah, no, it's all good. So yeah, but it's been a good win here. Scott McCune, he's looking pretty strong. And he comes through to cross the line, take the checker flag for race number 2. Ahead of Dylan Thomas, who's hung on for second place there. And Dibatito, who got the advantage of that reverse grid, he will finish P3 in this race. Starling gets classified already for the top TCR car coming across the line, 10th outright. So they're classified. Cox gets second and Gordon take third in that class. So there you go. We'll come back shortly with the final race, mate. So hang around and we can have a chat about what's going on in the real world very soon.
Sounds good.
Back with you in about 2 minutes when we get set for the next race. Get the results up on the screen for you for this, well, they call it a consolidation race, but it was the second race of the evening. This is how they finished up. And we'll start to prepare the third race for you tonight, the finale. So the top 3 in class, the VA Supercar class, was McCune, Thomas and Dibatito. The top 3 in the TCR with the grey stripe next to their name, TCR class, is Starling, Cox and Gordon. Get set now for the next race, and this is how they will grid up. It will be Dave Coleman and Scott McCune. I think this is like I said, with the replay file, sometimes it does seem to bug out in a sense, and I'm not sure exactly why, but anyway, we'll have a look shortly. I think it will be McCune and Thomas at the front. Dibatito, Reale will be there as well. Coleman, Worrell, Starling and Vincent will start there with Gordon and Cox. Andrew, Samuel, Thomas will be back there with Garbett. And then you've got Harris, Newens, Drake, Anderson and Hogan. Right, let's take you down to the racetrack. These are the cars. Let's get underway for race number 3. And they get away. So there you go. Green light comes on, we're off and racing. Good start at the back. One of the VA Supercars already leaping through. But Dylan Thomas goes around the outside. Does he hang on? He does. So we've got a heap of HSR cars there. Hypersonic Racing in the background. McCune went across the grass. His teammate Dibatito almost got into the back of him. 2 CR cars, I think, are getting together in the background as well. So there's a fair bit going on at the start of this third race tonight. 30-lapper feature race, and some of the TCR cars almost got turned around. I think it was Gordon maybe getting in contact. Oh, there is Samuel Thomas, the other one. He's in all sorts of trouble. So in fact, he's disappeared off the screen. Let's go back to the top drivers, but a little bit scrappy at the start of this one, and Dylan Thomas on top. I'd love to see him take a win after what happened in race 1, but what do you reckon, Dave? He's going to have to hold off another you know, Scott McCune, he's super quick and pretty scary to have in your mirrors.
I was gonna say Scotty doesn't let off, mate. He'll keep pushing and pushing and pushing. He's not the man you want there.
Here he goes now. So yeah, tell us about what's going on in the real world, mate. As we watch Scott McCune dummy for an overtake and make it stick. What's happening in next week?
So next weekend, all the improved production clubs from around Australia, New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, Northern Territory as well, all converge on Queensland next weekend for the Australian Improved Production Nationals. Basically the best of the best go at it head for head. Under 2 litres, over 2 litres. There'll be heat races where it will be similar to like this, the under 2 litres versus the over 2 litres. And then you'll have your main games and they go for it. Battle it out. And if you're in the area in Morgan Park, Warwick, Queensland, definitely come down and have a look.
It's a track I've never been to, Morgan Park. I've heard a lot about it. What's the nature of that track, that circuit?
It's probably a little bit bigger than Wakefield Park.
Yep.
But obviously not as big as Sydney Motorsport Park. But it's fast.
Yeah.
Real fast and flowing. Yeah. But there's tight 90-degree left-handers and there's, you know, 5th gear flat-out sweeping right-handers sort of things. So yeah, it's really fast. It's because of COVID, it's been postponed 2 times already. So finally get a crack and have a go. And hopefully next year the Nationals will be held in New South Wales.
Okay, well, at Sydney Motorsport Park, I presume.
At Sydney Motorsport Park, unfortunately, Wakefield's been closed for a while now.
Yep.
Due to some stuff going on. So, but actually, if you're out there, people, go check out Save Wakefield Park. We have to get 20,000 signatures within a space of a couple of weeks.
Yeah, right.
To present it to the New South Wales government. So people, please go check it out on Facebook. Save Wakefield Park.
Yeah, just as I'll just butt in there for a sec because Dibatito and Coleman have just come together and spun around. They're facing each other, and that's an awkward little moment there. Dave Coleman has to wait, so I think he might have given Jason a tap because he did wait. Now he's gone into the pits. But yeah, they're just back to what you're saying now. But yeah, a little bit of an awkward moment there.
Yeah, that last corner, you've got to be really patient to get on the throttle because if you hit that curb too much on the outside, it spins you right around really quick.
Yep. So Dylan Thomas out in front though, still holding off. Scott made a bit of a mistake the lap before, just lit up the rear tyres. What was the tyre wear like at this place? Because it looks, you know, changing conditions, it looks like it's sunny, but then the cloud cover as well at one end of the circuit.
It wasn't too bad, to be honest. The supercars, we only had 1 set of tyres. For the 30-lap race, and I think it handled pretty well for it.
Saying 30 degrees track temp, I'm not sure how accurate that is because it's a replay file, but that's pretty warm compared to what a lot of these drivers are used to in the sims, at least.
Yeah, so basically what we do, we try and get it to the real world as much as possible.
Yep.
Get the long-range weather forecast, and in the practice sessions we'll set it to whatever that day it's going to be. So one practice session may be different to the next practice session.
Right.
Depends on the weather forecast. So yeah, we try and get it as close as we can to the real world. So.
Hey, and what was the? I don't know if we've touched on this before. What was the ruling on who could join what class? Because you know the guys in the supercars versus the 2-litre cars. What was the ruling on who could be in what, or was it just personal preference?
It's personal preference. Whatever you want to do. But once you pick a class at the start of the year, you have to stay to it.
Right.
But in saying that, you can move around from, for argument's sake, your Audi to your Honda, or to your Hyundais.
Yes, so within class you can change cars.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But you just can't change from TCR to a supercar or vice versa. Otherwise, they'd be changing them to suit whatever track possible. So.
Yeah, well, we've got Scott joining us as well at the moment. So hello, Scott. How are you, mate?
Hey, g'day Luke, good mate, how are you? How are you, Dave?
Yeah, how's Scotty?
Good.
We're just watching you take the lead now, mate, so we're just hounding Dylan, and then you've finally gone through and put him out of his misery. But I tell you what, he's driven pretty well, Dylan Thomas, hasn't he, in this beautifully turned out red fishy car.
Yeah, no, Dylan goes well, man. He's a hard little charger, and you know me, I like to sit up under the back wing of someone and just give him a bit of curry, so he unfortunately cracked on that one, but yeah, no, we have good battles every week, or every time we run here.
Yeah, and Mario just sitting in third, still Dave back in fourth, and then you, Dave, fifth place at this stage in the WKMP car, just challenging and trying to chase down these HSR and these fishy boys.
Try, mate. Try and be in the ultimate word.
Yeah, you do all right, Dave.
It's gapped out behind then Dave because Jason's a further 5 seconds back up the road. Then Vincent's 13 seconds behind. Dave Coleman, after that pit stop, is well back. So what's the pit strategy for this 30 lapper? One stop?
Yeah, definitely one stop. I think the window opens at around about, I think it was about 14, I think, from memory.
Yep.
But yeah, it was one stop, and I think the tyres held up pretty well for it.
So Dave Coleman's lap 3 stop, that won't get him through to the end then?
Quite possibly.
Okay. So he stopped with that bit of damage, I think, because he did make contact prior to the pit stop, but hopefully he's put enough fuel in to get it home.
Yeah, hope. Wait and see, mate. Wait and see. We only had a 45% capacity right across the field, so it didn't matter if it was a TCR car or a supercar. You had the exact same capacity. Yep,
and we got Dylan joining us now. So we're just giving you a wrap before Dylan about how well you've been driving, mate. And other than a couple of little mistakes, it probably would have been 2 podiums already tonight.
Yeah, I sort of found a way to lose every race on Wednesday. But yeah, I had a bit of a combination of not quite as much practice as I would have liked, and a few little firmware issues with the wheel, making it act a bit weird. Like we did the first race, and every practice session the car had felt the same, and then we went into the race and my force feedback was half, so I felt like I had no grip at all compared to what I was used to, which made life a lot harder.
That's never fun.
No.
Especially in the sim, because you judge so much off that force feedback, don't you?
Yeah, everything's like every bit of feeling you get through the wheel, basically. Unless you're rich and you've got butt kickers and motion rigs and stuff, which most of us don't.
Oh, it's I tell you what, Dave, I'm just watching the times. Dave Coleman's done another fast lap there, 108. So with his stop out of the way, he's currently 40 seconds off the lead, but he may still be a part of this. Don't count him out yet.
Oh, Dave's quick, man. He's a tough racer too. Like, yeah, he's a hard man to run against and actually get in front of, or stay in front of at least.
He's a man on a mission at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's an absolute weapon lately. He's getting faster every week.
Yeah, so just going off the 3 that are here at this moment talking to me, real life race cars at the moment. Scott, you've got nothing at the moment, or you got something still? Because I know you had that beautiful.
Yeah. No, I sold the VL. And,
yeah.
I'm just purely sim at the moment. Getting too old for the real thing, I think.
Yeah. Any little itch you want to scratch sometimes when you see something on 105 or one of those websites when there's a car for sale.
Oh, absolutely. I get the itch and the wife kicks my butt.
That's the way it is, but yeah.
I haven't been helping much. I've been sending in cars after cars after cars.
Yep.
And I'm just going, nah, I can't do it.
No,
what about yourself, Luke? You going to build something again soon? Or?
Oh, no. Those days are over, I think. But I've got a fast bike, so it's the cheapest way to get something that performs very quickly was to buy a 1000cc Yamaha. So it does the trick for me. It gets my adrenaline up when I need it up.
If you're going to do it properly, mate.
Yeah, that's it. So I sort of looked at, the 0 to 200 kilometre per hour range, what you'd got to spend in a car to get the same sort of speed out of the bike. You'd have to spend probably $1 million. So I've done all right.
Stay upright, mate. That's all.
That's it. No, it's good fun. I want to do a track day. I mean, I'd race, club cars back in the day, but I'd love to do a track down a bike just to like you do in a car, just feel the limits of the tyres and all the things that you can't do on the street, because I do ride pretty sensibly on the street.
You can do that at the creek, can't you? There's...
Yeah, the upright, what are they called? They do the ride nights and the ride days, but a lot of them are on the South Circuit, I think it is, which is a lot of fun, but I want to see 250 clicks down the straight. I want to open the thing up.
They do them every now and again on the main part, on the main track. So
yeah, but no, it's all good. But what about you, Dylan? What have you got at the moment?
I drove a go-kart once when I was about 12 years old. That's it.
Yep.
There's always, I'd love to get into racing, but it's just, never been a financially viable option. So this was the next best thing.
It is a huge side of it, that expensive side of it, isn't it? Like even doing a race weekend when you've got to, do tyres and you've got to do fuel and brakes and all that sort of stuff. The amount of money that just adds up from doing a simple super sprint round or like you guys do the Ipransw rounds, it's incredibly expensive.
Yeah, well, $2.5 grand a set of tyres. It doesn't last too long.
Starts out. I was talking today at the track when I was out doing the coaching and that today, and talking to a couple of the boys at the TA classes, TA2s, all that sort of stuff. Have a guess how much a round?
I'm gonna guess 15 grand.
I would have said probably 20.
Cheapest was $25,000.
Yeah, wow.
That's where you need rich friends or good sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. When you talk Porsche Cup and all that sorts of things, there's just the tyre costs alone are enough to make the eyes water.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
But if you got good sponsors or you got, a good bank account or a trust fund, then usually it's all right. It's something you can do.
I'm still trying to find my sponsor. The bank.
And unfortunately, my father wasn't Charles III, so there you go.
That's it. Lap 12 of 30 here. Scott, you're looking pretty in control now. 1.1 seconds, just managing the gap. And then it's a 14-second gap back to P3. So looking pretty comfortable. In the TCR class, Gorton is back out in front. We've seen a few little errors just from everyone tonight, but the TCR cars have not been left off the board when it comes to those little mistakes, especially after the S's. And these things look a little bit unsettled tonight. What's the deal with setup? Are we open setup or we fixed setup again tonight?
Fixed setup. Massive shout out to VRS.
Yep.
Who do the setups for us. They're unreal. They've helped us out. They've helped us out immensely. And same as Madison. He jumps in a session every now and again for us. Coaches a couple of the newbies out there as well. So
And some of the not so newbies.
and some of the not so newbies. And every time he goes out, he teaches us what we're doing, what to do, and all that sort of stuff. He's an absolute machine. And as I said, VRS we can't thank enough.
Yeah, we haven't had any of the wild cards come for this round.
Sorry, what was that?
We don't have a wild card for this round, is that right?
Wild card is Jordan Cox.
Oh, there you go. So Jordan in the TCRs, yeah. So he's up there, P3 at the moment. So what is he? A couple of seconds, 4 or 5 seconds off Ryan Gorton, who has been strong, hasn't it? Ryan's been really good throughout this season. Although he's just sort of said that he's pulled over and stopped the car. So I'm not sure what the go is there. That's commentator's curse on a replay.
I think.
Yeah,
Was it
takes
Ryan
time.
said he had some issues with his HDMI?
Right, maybe.
So,
Yeah, there was someone said their HDMI fell out twice in one race or something.
It did look like a tech issue because he just pulled over, stopped the car, and now he's going back up to full speed again. So that's upsetting. That puts Starling now up into the lead of the TCR and Jordan Cox into second in the Audi. So yeah, Jordan's doing well. Picture partners on the side of that car and obviously some of his real world sponsors.
Okay,
In a real car here, he'd kick all our asses, that's for sure.
I think he would.
Oh yeah.
He had some really good success the other weekend at Sandown in his TCR car. He's going great guns. It's turning some heads.
Yeah, I don't know how much sim he actually does. He probably doesn't do a hell of a lot of sim stuff, does he?
He does a bit. He's probably obviously got a lot more time running his own business, Cox Automotive or Cox Motorsport, and doing the TCR stuff. So he's pulling his hair out, doing busy man.
Is he? What's the TCR? Is he run a Persia or is it something else?
I think it's a Peugeot.
Yeah,
The
blue
Spinifex,
Peugeot.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just bring up a quick photo of it now so I can flick it up on the screen. Hopefully I don't get busted for copyright, but I think there's a shot in the rain. What was it, a couple of drenched races they've had lately, haven't they? The
Yeah,
TCR.
that was Sandown last weekend.
Last weekend, yeah, they got absolutely soaked down there. So a couple of photos just over on his Facebook page, which I'll just minimise that so you can see that's actually his Facebook page, which is worth going and having a look at. So there it is, Jordan Cox Motorsport, with a picture of the car. That's how easy you can go and just check out what he does. So yeah, go ahead.
He's one of the stars in our open, our IPRA opening too. He's Honda Civic.
Yeah, right.
With his overtake on top of Skyline.
Yeah, I was about to say that that Peugeot is a world of difference compared to his little Civic.
It's the two-wheel Civic, isn't it? It's normally going around with 2 wheels, isn't it?
Yeah, two-wheel Civic, and his IPRA car now, he's a Suzuki Swift, which is an over 2-litre car, and they call the Zook. It's one of the only cars that overtakes my car like it's standing still.
Mad bastard, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
No way I'd go around Bathurst in a tuna tin.
So if we look at Auto Action magazine online there, you can just see that's a picture of his car there. So
That's it, that's the one.
one little rocket ship. Very cool.
He sold it, and someone in Melbourne, I think, has got that car now. I think, from memory. And they're still going in the IPRA class, and yeah.
So we're halfway through, we're pitting in this race, and I buggered my fuel up. Well, crew chief does, because Dave sets times on the thing, not laps, and crew chief doesn't understand how much fuel to put in.
Right, so the crew chief works off the 1 hour, does it?
I think so, because it gave me like 8 or 9 extra laps of fuel.
Right. Yeah, so you're in the pits, Tiapan's in the pits as well. It's Reale leading, so Mario's there with Dave, and then Dylan still holding on to 3rd place. The gap back, now he has stopped as well, so lap 15. He stopped and got the gap 4 seconds, so that's what you lost in the pit stop.
Yep, and look at Mr. Coleman there.
Yep, so he's jumped you, so he's up a second in front, and I think still holding the fastest lap of the race with a 1:08.5. So yeah, he's looking pretty good, isn't he? Comfortable.
I might answer your question from earlier, Luke, about whether he had enough fuel.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes. So we've still got a long way to go. We're just beyond half distance now. The 2-litre class, still Brett Starling, who hasn't stopped yet. In fact, the top 3 are yet to stop, with good Jordan Cox running 2nd still, and Ryan Gorton running 3rd. Slightly plagued by some tech issues, I believe, tonight. So there you go. Dave Vincent behind, running in 11th. Now, who almost went into the back of him off that start? Was that you, Dave? When he stalled on the grid?
Yeah, there was definitely a poo moment, that's what you could say.
Yeah, it looked pretty scary. We obviously couldn't show a replay, but it looked some good reflexes by about 3 or 4 drivers to avoid a huge crash.
Yeah, it came up real quick and went straight to the right, and went, oh shit, that wall's pretty close.
So, real life Sandown experience. Have any of you guys been around here?
I was coaching there a couple of weeks ago for Fast Track.
Yep.
And got to take my Hilux for a little bit of a wrap around the track. And yeah, did a race in probably a good 5 years ago now. So it was it's pretty good. I was talking to one of the other coaches today at the track, and said we did Sandown. Told him, I said, yeah, did what you told me, because he's a Sandown freak.
Yep.
And he goes, yeah. I told him, did his lines, and times dropped, and it actually worked, and yeah, so it's surprising.
What is the future of Sandown at this stage? What's the latest on that?
I think that it's another 5 years. It's definitely guaranteed. But after that, I don't know, to be honest.
Because it was touch and go for a while there, wasn't it? For even sooner to be demolished or whatever.
Yeah, I think as long as supercars will run there, it'll be safe.
Yep.
But once supercars say, we're going to go somewhere else, they'll I think it'll close. Unfortunately, motorsport revolves around supercars. So these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll ever be another category in Australian motorsport that will overtake the popularity of V8 supercars?
Yeah, I think TCR will. And give it time. I think the GT cars, like the Bathurst 12-hour,
Yep.
and all that sort of stuff, that'll get bigger and bigger. Like if you go to the 12-hour now, it's an absolute awesome race.
Yeah.
Yeah, GT's growing every year down here at the moment.
Yeah.
Because we don't really see an all year round series, though, do we, yet in the GT class?
It's not a big popular thing, but I think it's definitely getting bigger and bigger.
I wonder what it would take to, push that forward, because it is popular. It's popular with young kids and that too, because they love those sorts of cars. They're the dream cars, the supercars that everyone wants to own one day. But yeah, I agree. I think the GT racing is always great to watch live. But yeah, the TCR car, I'm on the fence about that, because I think as a spectator, they're a little bit more pedestrian. They're not as fast and as exciting as a GT car, but they're definitely gathering more momentum as far as getting more competitors and different types of cars as well, different makes of cars, which is fantastic.
It's good to see that the manufacturers are putting the cars in there now. I think Toyota's about to release their Yaris or their Corolla TCR car.
Yep. So you reckon they'll go a Corolla versus a Yaris?
I think it is a Corolla. They did a press release about a month or so ago, I think, and I'm pretty sure it was a Corolla that they were doing, because it's in tying with the Corolla Gazoo car or whatever they're bringing out.
Yep.
They're doing that. So, but
You sneezed.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, I thought you sneezed. You said Gazoo. Bless you.
Yeah, well, according to Touring Car Times, another publication on the internet, there you go, Toyota Corolla TCR set for track debut late 2021, in that article at least, so there's a photo of it.
Yeah, so it's good to see that the manufacturers are getting involved. They're not allowed, I think the rules state that they can't enter like a factory team or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's good to see they're actually getting momentum, and they're bringing cars like Volkswagen's got a whole heap of them over in Europe that they run as well.
Yep. Whoa, big moment there for Jason. He's all out of shape. Why do you think they would stop manufacturing teams? Like, obviously, you've seen over the years the Holden dealership team, the Holden racing team, all that sort of thing, that's dominated. But do you think it's really going to be an issue with TCR cars?
I think it's a cost, to be honest. I think it's a cost
the
thing.
way the grassroots, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Factory.
Keeps the cost down. Yeah, so it's just the grassroots side of things. They're definitely involved. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've seen a manual for a TCR car, and it was absolutely ridiculous. Like, it literally comes with a magazine, and it tells you if you do this, it's going to do this to the car. Like, it's phenomenal, the engineering. Like, it was like a novel, pretty much.
Yeah, watching a good battle between Dave and Scotty right now. So it's on the TCR cars, a bit of a moving chicane through there as well. So that was well navigated, but Dave just stretching away on the straightaway. But Scott, you look like you just got the sights on him at the moment, trying to lock him on, painting a bit of heat on him, like they say in Top Gun, ready to attack.
I was trying to stay up behind him like a tow rope, but he is quick, and yeah, these cars get a little bit to handle around here. They're not the easiest thing to drive around Sandown.
Out of this corner here in particular, we see so many times the back end as you get up on the curb there. There you go, yep. So Dave lighting up the rears again. What do the tyres feel like by the end of these, a 30-lap race? Are you changing tyres in the stop first of all?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, but even after 5-6 laps, they start getting pretty spongy. So, yeah, and we had a light fuel load, so yeah, they're always a handful to drive anyway. But they're fun.
Yep.
They're fun. They're loud. They're hard to drive, and they're fun.
Yep. Do you have headphones on your rig, Scott? You wear headphones, don't you?
Yeah, I'm headphones and triggers. Yeah.
Yep. I often wonder what it would be like just to have an awesome stereo instead of having headphones while you do your sim racing.
Divorced.
I was going to say, my neighbours wouldn't like me.
Yeah, divorced, I reckon.
Yeah. So as we quickly go down and have a quick look at the 2-litre class, it's still Brett out in front. The gap's 2.7 back to Jordan Cox, who's also a couple of seconds ahead of Ryan Gorton still, so they're gapped out. 2 litre cars, they're locking up the brakes in the same spot. That sounded like Jordan Cox in the fence. It was, so he's got it wrong through the S's and has done a lot of damage to that car. So Gorton goes through. Oh, he's gone off as well. So a bit of oil on the track maybe. I tell you, I can't wait for the day when iRacing does that. You drop a bit of oil on the track.
You know when Dave bumped me before, this might be the payback.
Okay. Keep an eye on this then.
Don't know whether it wasn't deliberate.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, a little bit of contact. Oh, he's gone around too. Common spins around.
Do that.
Yeah, no, he did that by himself. He's left those, wet road S's behind him as the tyres have spun around. But yeah, how cool would it be if you got some damage and left a bit of oil on the track, and then it made other cars spin off? I reckon that sort of thing will come once they do put rain and that into the sim.
Yeah, I definitely think so, especially like when the engines go bang as well.
Yeah, big oil slick on the road would be awesome.
Yeah.
You think?
Awesome to watch.
For who?
Oh, for us watching and laughing.
I think it'll be the same as rain. Everyone's excited for rain. They all think they're going to be the one guy that can handle better than everyone else.
I hate to be in the first corner when it rains. You're just watching everyone just going to go piling straight off.
Yeah, I already know I'm going to be terrible in the rain. I struggle enough in the dry.
Yeah, my right foot's way too heavy for wet track.
Yeah, and saying that, yesterday and today I may have been driving a V8 Commodore around the track on slicks in the wet.
That would be
Yeah,
fun.
that'll wake you up in a hurry.
It was slightly fun, just a little bit.
10% fun, 90% terrifying.
Oh yeah, 100%. had a customer today, got in a car and he went, "Yes, what's that smell?" I said, "Oh, mate, that's the essence of race car, all that sort of stuff." He's, "Oh yeah," and he's turned around. I said, "Really, mate? It was the bloke that was in there before. You should shame yourself." Yeah, you're sitting in it.
Oh dear.
His look went puzzled really quick.
We're about to start lap 25, so 6 to go. Tom is still leading 1.6 seconds. Mario's hanging in at the moment for P3, but he has got Jason and Dave, yourself. You're back a little bit further, 9 seconds off a podium at this stage. But we're seeing an HSR car, battling another HSR car for that final position on the podium. And it's been an HSR show in, a few rounds anyway. There's a lot of, 3 out there, 4 out there, right up the pointy end as per usual.
And it's good to see them all up there. We need to get some more teams involved. They've supported the series really well. It's been good. Yep.
We're rocking up each round, which has been great. So let's have a quick look back at a couple of other drivers. Just seeing where Starling is. He's still, still 15 seconds now ahead of Jordan Cox. So that's looking really comfortable for him now. If you just potter around for the next 5.5 laps and should be able to take a win. Have you guys tried jumping in one of these front-wheel drive cars?
Oh God, no.
I did. It didn't end well.
They're completely different to drive, aren't they? It's just when you're just used to a rear-wheel drive car, and then you jump in something like this, and you get all that torque steer, and it's very odd.
Well, I can't drive the GT cars because the bastards don't shift down quick enough for me. So.
Yeah, I had a bit of a drive of them around here the other day, helping my brother get some, figure out some lines and stuff, and yeah, I don't know how these folks drive them so quickly.
I love the fact that you can actually jump on it and you get the torque steer and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got no idea how they drive this quick. I tried when I was setting up a few of the setups and stuff. I was like, yeah, no, I don't know if this is good or not. I just can't even drive it.
Well,
just throw something at it and hope it works.
There's the argument with that too, with TCR cars. Obviously, a lot of young blokes are using that as a feeder category to try and get to supercars, but whether or not they're actually a good feeder category as a race driver, you think probably going to Porsche if you want to head to supercars, or even 86s or something like that that's rear-wheel drive would be a better option than spending a few years in a TCR car. I'm not sure. I'm just throwing an idea out there.
Yeah, definitely. It all gets a bit of racecraft, right?
But surely by the time you get to TCR, your racecraft, you've come through go-karts, you've done maybe some Formula Vs or some Formula Ford, you should have a fair bit of racecraft by then.
Oh, 100%. You've got to be in your Porsches and all that sort of stuff. And I think even before you even get looked at for supercars, you've got to do a season or something in the Super 2 class or something, whatever it is, it's called. So yeah, you'd got to be doing something like that, or even sports sedans.
Yeah.
Because sports sedans are pretty much all their supercars are basically sports sedans anyway.
Correct. Yeah. Space frame. So yep, it's just an interesting thing. I was talking to a mate about it the other day, and that feeder category to V8s, and whether or not you pick up bad habits, or if you can just chop and change between different cars in the real world, and all those bad habits go away. It's like when when you see someone who's used to driving a left-hand drive up at Bathurst, all of a sudden they're in a right-hand drive supercar and they clip walls where they would normally, just because you sit on the other side of the car now. So
Yeah, exactly.
Those habits that just get stuck in your head.
It's I think probably more so like the whole competition side of things and the racing, like the argy-bargy sort of stuff. It's good to learn.
Yep.
But as you said, like the total racecraft side of things, it's totally different. As most of the TCR cars are all left-hand drive anyway as well. So
it is pretty rough too when you say argy-bargy. I was watching a bit of Sandown the other day in the wet, and I tell you what, some of those drivers were just moving other guys out of the way.
It's basically first tap's a warning, second tap you're off.
Yeah. So it's pretty fine as Dylan goes wide. And talk us through that moment, Dylan. What happened there?
Yeah, same thing as in the first race. So there's a little curb on the left there where if you hit it, it just launches the car up. And after that, there's no way of pulling it up too much.
And that's twice I've watched that, and I feel just as bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty disappointing. Like a couple of P2s normally would be really, I'd be really excited with that, but like both of them were the last couple of laps of a race where I probably should have been able to hold on. But yeah, it's just trying to push a bit too hard to keep Scotty behind me, and too much watching the mirror.
It's the green headlights, man. Just get it on. It's all right.
So we've got 2 laps to go, or a lap and a half to go now. 3.5 seconds the margin. Scott looking pretty comfortable for an HSR win in round number 7 of this Ipransw New South Wales Crew Production Racing Association eSeries. So looking good here with just on a lap and a bit to go now. In the background, Dylan Thomas for P2. 1 lap to go as well, and Riali is well back, 35 seconds off the lead, with everyone now stopped and running to the end. Unfortunately, Brad Harris looks like was he in race control? Is that where Brad is? Or did he do a lap? He did do a lap, because he's showing us doing 0.98 of a lap. So
he must have broke down. Forgot to check the oil.
Yeah. Righto, so Scotty starts the last lap now. Who's that going slow there in the supercar? Is that Coleman? It is. So Dave's race went from bad to worse there. He drops back to P7, and he's been lapped by the race leader. So the fishy driver who's had some good performances tonight will now find himself a lap down as we cross the line. But Scott's going to take this one, I think, by a country mile, is in race terms, 3.5 seconds from Dylan Thomas, and so we'll end at round number 7. So it's a good track to come to. I like Sandown. I've always liked Sandown, but I was not expecting it to be this good in the sim. I know you guys struggle. Some of you don't like racing here, but it's so good to watch, I reckon, this track.
Such a different driver's track. There's very little trail braking in this circuit. Like a lot of the others, you've got to trail brake, otherwise you don't get around the corners. This one, you trail brake and you go straight off. So
yeah, there's a checker flag, by the way. So Scotty takes the win, and nice drift into the fence.
Ran out of talent.
Dylan Thomas gets P2, and still on the back straightaway. This is the battle for the final step of the podium between Mario and Jason. So we'll keep it on this as they run to the flag. Looks like Thomas has already been classified P2 in class, or the TCR class. That's Samuel Thomas, so that's a good performance to get a second And, who's that going around right in front of these guys? That's an awkward rejoin as well. Oh my gosh. And that's helped, I think, Mario hang on to take P3. So, yeah, that was a little bit tight towards the end. But, yeah, fantastic racing. Good job. Let's have a quick look at your TCR. Starling, he's coming around to finish his lap, and he will take the win. And, in fact, it is P2. Samuel Thomas has already been classified for second. So that's a pretty comfortable win here for Starling. And third in class, Jordan Cox, as he crosses the line. So there you go. There's your results for the feature coming up on the screen now as we finish up, and Scott McCune does one of his beautiful burnouts that we've become accustomed to seeing. And there it is, a win by 2.8 seconds over Dylan Thomas. Mariali comes in third, 40 seconds off the lead. Starling, Thomas and Cox, your top three in the TCR. So there we go.
I'll just add, Mr. Cox did get DQ'd too.
Did he?
He did.
Why was that?
Yeah, I was talking to him afterwards. He got DQ'd for too many incident points because he was driving it like he was on the weekend at Sandown in real life.
Well, there you go.
Wondered what happened, eh? I saw him get DQ'd and wondered what it was.
Well, we'll do the podium interviews, so we'll start with our race winner for the feature. Scott, congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. like you said, it was a good fun little race. Small field, but still fun. It's cracking getting through those TCR cars when they, especially off that reverse grid start. That was awesome fun. That was just, we feel like we monster them a little bit, but you can't help it. You've just got you can just run away from them. It's actually a little bit cruel, but no, it was a good race, and Dylan put up a really good battle, and Dave in the first and the second one. So no, it was good fun.
Well done, mate. And then Dylan, obviously P2 and some good performances tonight. Will you go away from this thinking, I've just got to change a few little things, maybe try and look forward a little bit less in the mirrors, and come through for a win?
Yeah, pretty much. It's there's just that little bit of, like, you've sort of got your top four with Scotty, Coleman, and that are a little bit quicker than me consistently. So I can sort of get a good qualifying in, and then I'm just that touch off the pace for a race distance.
Yep.
So I'm sort of always pushing right on the limit, and then that brings out these little mistakes, just trying to keep up with them. So yeah, I try to rely more on getting those clean pit stops and in and out pretty quickly to make up time that way instead.
Car looks good too, mate. Nice new livery.
Yeah, it was, the team boss did it up for the Tiapan Bathurst 1000, and then we didn't get to race.
There you go.
Yeah, we had an issue signing up the team, so I modified it a bit to run it in this for the 3 Aussie tracks.
Very good, right?
They thought it was a bit fishy, did they?
Very nice. Right, let's do some thank yous. Scotty, first of all, with you, who'd you like to thank, mate? Your team and your sponsor.
Oh, look, firstly, I'd like to thank you for broadcasting it, Luke. It's always good to see you on air and hear your voice again.
Thanks, mate.
And Dave and Ipra for putting the series together. And hopefully next year it's bigger and better with a lot more cars, make it a lot more fun. And yeah, just the HSR boys. Like, we've got a good close-knit little team there. Hopefully get Dumbrell back in the rig soon, and happy days.
Yep. Tell him to put those toys back in the cot and get back racing. We miss him.
Yeah, he's got his sim pulled apart at the moment, but I have it on good authority. It should be back together in the next month.
Very good, very good. All right, Dylan, who would you like to thank, mate, for P2?
We've got West End Motor Group, which is Parramatta Peugeot, Parramatta City Great Wall and Haval, West End Mazda, Parramatta Isuzu Utes, DC Shades, Relax Marine and Game Fishing, Precision Sim Training, who helps us a lot with our setups and driver training, obviously outside of this league because it's fixed. Infinity Designs, who does all of our paint jobs, and Adrenaline Images, who does all of our photos.
Fantastic, man. Good job tonight. And a big thanks, Dave, also for putting this series together in partnership with the Improved Production Racing Association for New South Wales. But it's been a pleasure, man, as always. Round number 7.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for everything, mate. You're doing a really good job.
Thanks, mate. Sorry, a bit disorganised tonight trying to get it all together, but we got there in the end. Had to do an iRacing update. An update on about 3 other bits of software, and finally got it together, so better late than never.
I'm sure Dave will put the points up one day soon, won't you, Dave?
I've seen the points. They're halfway done. I'll tell you what, pretty friggin' close.
Very good.
Want to share?
I think the top 3 is covered by about 100 points. Which, as you can know, with the formats we're doing, that's 2 races out of the 2 rounds out of the 3 we do.
Of a night,
yeah. So it's anyone's game realistically. So I will get them up in the next couple of days. It's been a busy couple of months.
Sounds good, man. All right, boys, thanks for joining me and having a chat. Dave, Dylan, and Scotty, legends. We'll see you next time for round number 8 and the penultimate round of this series.
Thanks guys. Thanks for everything.
No worries. Cheers, boys. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Right, that's it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll catch you next time here live on RACESTARS TV. Good night.